Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Choco-Bros. The beginning of somehow something that's probably going to take as long as the entire rest of the series. I'm Iron Aggro, and this is Espycat.
Hi.
Repeat that? You did not come
Hi.
through. um, uh, so Espy has never played Final Fantasy 14. Actually, that's not true. You played a little, right?
Maybe an hour.
One whole hour.
Maybe.
Maybe. I have about 1,700 hours, or 18, more closer to 1,800 now.
We're pretty close to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
so.
that far. I started in October 2019. I remember Shadowbringers had come out and it was like getting such critical acclaim. And on top of that, you had what's it called? Oh, you had the Nier content being added soon. And I was like, I gotta get in. I gotta. And then I got in. That's for sure. But so we're here today to that's Swirls. Why is Swirls here?
I think he just hopped in to listen in.
Hi Swirls. I'm a terrible
Hi.
host. You can be here too. So I'm gonna explain the lore of Final Fantasy 14, basically. I'm gonna give them all you need to know about the world going into the game and what happened in 1.0. You're welcome to talk, by the way, Swirls. Feel free. This is a video recording, so I'm gonna edit it later. We're not streaming. So basically, I'm unprepared is what we're gonna start with. So this takes place, SB. Are you prepared? Are you ready to go?
No, but let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited. I am excited. I'm not prepared.
That is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So, we're here in the setting of the world of Hydaelyn. Is the name of the planet we live on in this world. It is comprised of 5 continents, which are Aldenard, which is this one over here.
Okay.
Isilbard, which is the one behind the clouds, and Othard, which is the far east one. Those are the main. Oh, and then there's one down to the southeast of the map we have here that we don't know much about, and then there's one way far to the west, which we don't know about.
Okay.
One to the southeast is called Mara City, and to the west is called the New World as of now. They don't matter for now. They will probably matter someday. But basically, don't worry about them.
Like, even current day FF14, they don't matter? Okay, I gotcha.
We're not going to get into it too much. But the main...
What's the name of the... What's the name of the whole land?
The whole world?
Yeah.
Hydaelyn.
Hydaelyn, okay.
Yeah, so Hydaelyn is based on... The name comes from again, I don't want to too details, but
I don't need the backstory then.
Yeah, no, this is like the common knowledge is that the Mother Crystal, as it is called, a unknown god or the something. Everyone has a different opinion on what it is, but basically that is the name of the capital G god.
Okay, sure. Okay.
There's tons of different religions and such. But hey, back to the setting. Most of this doesn't matter for now. It will matter eventually, but for now, I'm going to use this other map that's more interactable, but it didn't have.
Oh, look at this one. This one has colors.
This one does have colors for things. This one does not, but it has this part of the map, Dalmasca. Wink, wink. Uncovered. But we'll go to here because most of the game, and especially the start, happens on the continent of Aldenard, which I'm going to refer to in the future as Eorzea. Eorzea is Aldenard and its surrounding islands. So like Vilbrand and these islands and Old Charlian.
Right, so I've heard that word. What is it? Alzoria?
Eorzea.
Eorzea. I have heard Eorzea. And I just kind of assumed that was like the planet, like in Like how it's like, oh, we're on Gaia. So I thought that like Eorzea was the planet, but I'm wrong.
Gonna be honest. It might have been that at some point, and then retconned. I was very unclear at first, at least when I was playing. I have not replayed the game, to be clear. Like I haven't gone through the story again, so I'm a little wishy-washy on that. But I remember thinking that for a long time, even playing through the game.
Okay. I gotcha.
Because again, multiple different places have different names for the planet. Hydaelyn's the most commonly used, but it depends where you go and such.
Okay.
But most of the game takes place on the continent of Eorzea, which is made up of, made up of a few different city-states, each of which have their own government and location. I have my notes open. Hee hee.
Oh, lovely.
Turns out I did not put the pictures I wanted to, so we're just gonna have to look at this map for a lot of it. But so down here, in the south of the continent, you have Ul'dah, which is a merchant city. It's in the desert. I'm mostly gonna tell you about their government for the most parts, and their basic way of life. They are a lot of merchants, a lot of rich people, and a lot of poor people who live way below them. Its government there is a sultana, Nanamo something or another, forget her last name. And then you have the syndicate, which are the more, there's the queen, and then there's the actual government type thing.
Okay.
They are 6 members. The sultana, her Nanamo, is on the syndicate, but she isn't necessarily always on. It is the 6 richest people in Ul'dah. At any time, the 6 richest people are the leaders of the city-state.
So if let's just say one of them is making a bad business decision for some reason, and they lose money, they just like, oh, sorry, you're not one of the top 6, you're kicked out. Yeah,
not automatic, obviously they will, if it just went a little bit below the next one over, then, don't worry about that. But if you went bankrupt, yeah, you're fired. You're out.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Or, in the case of one character who's on the syndicate, you started from nothing, but eventually made enough money that, hey, you're here now. You're undeniable. You're one of the 6.
So anybody can earn their way in, but your way in is not guaranteed.
And guess what? The rich, they stay rich. It's not often the other way around.
I gotcha.
But that's what
we'll
go with for now.
That's Ul'dah.
That's Ul'dah. Yes, that's one of the starting cities. We're gonna start with the 3 cities you can start in.
Okay.
The second one is Gridania. I wish I could make these bigger, but I can't. Which is a foresty, magic-y area, I guess we'll go with. They don't really have a government per se. Their leader is the Elder Seedseer, is I believe what her name title is, Kane Senna. And she is the best at communicating with nature, as there are many I forget the details on Gridania's especially, but they're like spirits kind of made out of ether that could be benevolent, and so basically it's their forest, and they're letting people live here and not killing them because they don't have any reason not to. They're just kind of there. But so the government is, we're just gonna trust this lady to talk to these big magic creatures, and everything works out fine. They go into Gridania's governing system the least by far.
Right, they just kind of things are okay here.
Mostly. Again, they do that for a lot of the time, but Gridania gets that the most, sadly.
Okay. When I did play my little hour of FF14, the class I picked started in Gridania, so I kind of, I don't want to say know the layout or kind of know what's going on, because I don't. But Gridania is the only one I'm aware of. Yeah,
that's where I started as well, and definitely might be where we start again. We'll see. Depends on what class you pick. I think it's a good fun place. Again, it feels like it's fun to, unlike the other 2, you start in the middle of the forest and then grow up to the big cities, rather than the other 2. being Ul'dah, and Limsa Lominsa,
Ooh.
which is a merchant city for the most part. They live out, by the sea. They are on, if you look... Oh, yeah, sorry, forgot to mention. Gridania is up here.
Okay.
And then, Limsa Lominsa is right here.
Kind of off to the west,
Yeah,
a little southwest from Gridania, but off of the main continent as far as, like...
Off of the main continent, but it's close enough that you can get there any time of day type of thing.
Okay.
Like,
so, but that would be considered part of Eorzea.
Yes, that is part of Eorzea. Technically not part of Aldenard, which is the main landmass.
So Aldenard is a continent. Yes. Eorzea is Aldenard and surrounding... Okay. Just making sure I got it.
Yeah. So just don't worry about Aldenard. They rarely ever use it. It's Eorzea. That's just the local area.
Okay.
But I forget exactly what the government system is for Limsa, but it is under the command of Merylwib Bonvolfiswin.
She does not sound evil at all.
I believe her name is. That's just Rogadan naming conventions, which is one of the species. I'm not going to go over that. We'll do that in the character creation.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be a while.
Yeah, that's going to be a while. But... they have weird names. But the Limsa used to be a pirate state where everyone was pirates. And then turns out that makes for a very bad government. So they eventually weeded it out, and now under Merylwib's command, they are only allowed to pirate against the Garlean Empire, who we'll get to in a bit.
Garlean.
Ooh.
Okay.
Then you have some other places. So not a city-state, but I should mention this big area in the middle, which is like, say like right here-ish. It's called Mordona, which
that whole area.
Yeah, this kind of area-ish is here. It's basically there's lots of monsters and stuff that live there. So, like there was a settlement. There's some people here and there spread about, but mostly not that inhabited by actual people at this point.
Okay, so let me ask a question,
yes.
And if you can't answer it yet for reasons,
okay.
Sure. So if you scroll down the map a little bit, I see that
yes.
Ul'dah is kind of at the bottom here, completely like in between Ul'dah and Gridania is Mordana.
Yes.
Does that kind of affect how Ul'dah does business and like operates day to day, or do they have?
Well, no, they just go around this way.
Oh, so that area is safe, like around.
Yeah, like again, it's not like you're gonna walk in there and something's gonna murder you. It's just like there's no civilization city here, so people don't go there as often. Also, like a big thing is that it's the middle ground between city-states, and so like. Okay. People, like, they've vied for it in the past. Like, that has been a big area of contention in the like, it's been a couple decades since there was, like, a lot of warring between the city-states. At least a couple decades. But the Mordona was a very, contentious area, specifically due to, I don't know why it says falls, but Silvertear Lake, which is a lake comprised mostly of ether, which is like magic and life force energy type thing. I don't think I really have to explain what ether is.
No, I mean that's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory, but it's the whole area is very heavy with ether, which is why monsters and stuff surround there in the first place. But so those are the 3 city-states you can start at. There are a couple more that we need to talk about. Next up is Ishgard, which is up here in the Snowy Mountains. They are in a big city right there across a long bridge. So they are a how to put, I don't know what to call it. What is a government that is ruled by the church? Basically, they're governed by the Pope, Pope Thornton. He has an actual like title, but for all intents and purposes, Pope Thornton is our guy. He's an old elfman, and they worship a god we'll get to. And another fun fact that we're not going to worry about, don't ask. They've been in war with dragons for 1,000 years.
We're just gonna slide right by that.
We're just gonna slide right by that. The dragons,
okay.
They live up in Dravania. That's why no one lives in this area over here. Is because there's lots and lots and lots of dragons.
And they are at war with the dragons.
Yes, for over 1,000 years.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you and just.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That'll be relevant later.
Okay.
But they've always been very closed off, and they like only allow certain people through, that sort of thing. After that, we have Sharlayan. So you'll notice up here, that is old Sharlayan.
Oh.
This is new Sharlayan down here. So basically, this is where they live, and this is their colony they sent out to live on the main continent. So Sharlayan is a bunch of very smart people. It's a bunch of scholars, and they, again, like Ishgard, but much more so, are very closed off. They have a non-interference policy, where they are there to learn. They are not there to interfere in government or anything. If somebody's gonna set off a nuclear bomb, they'd be like, okay, what's the stats on it, please? At least in theory, that is, you know what I'm trying to say. But they do have a colony out off in the mainland.
So they're just kind of like the common joke is like, oh, Switzerland, like they just kind of, oh, look what's happening. Like they don't really get involved with anything. They just
but what if they were a bunch of scholars? They're all very smart. They are governed by what is called the Form, which is 100 elected officials who all have equal saying power.
Okay, 100 elected officials, so they are chosen by...
I'm not sure exactly how election works when there's 100
right,
people.
But they are chosen.
They are chosen, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then, I believe the last one is Alamigo, which, I'm going to describe how it used to be, and then explain why it's not that anymore in a minute. But it used to be ruled by a king who was very, let's say his castle, super nice castle in the middle of the desert. He has lots of fountains and, you know, baths and things.
Yeah.
Sure, not a great guy, that king guy. But, you know, it was fine and dandy. And everything was going great. We were at relative peace after a couple long years of warring between them in and out. You know what? I should check my notes. I might have that later.
Okay.
No, I do not. It is actually right now. And suddenly, Garlemald, the Garlean Empire. Let's zoom in.
The nod is not lost on me.
No, it should not be. So they look nice, don't they, in this map?
Yeah, they look really inviting and warm and not covered in metal.
No, and don't worry about the cloud. The clouds are just areas that are undiscovered on the map, and like, you know, that we just don't go to. This whole, or like, that we don't know anything about. So like, this used to be covered. This whole area used to be covered, basically.
So what? I guess it. For my sake of understanding, when is this map from?
This map. This one I'm looking at.
Is before like ARR?
No. This is. The map doesn't change. It's all the same. It's just, as new content comes out, they will uncover stuff.
Right.
It's so they can be coy about the exact land masses until they're actually relevant.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Is like what?
Well, let me explain. So the Garleans.
Okay.
They are people who used to live, I believe, in some islands down here. And they are normal guys. They look like humans, except usually they're tall and, like, bigger, like, heavier set. Like, just big people.
Yeah.
But just human looking. Except they have a tiny dot on their forehead. It looks like half a marble sticking out of their head.
Okay.
Or a pearl. And that's the only difference look-wise, but in reality, what they cannot use any magic of any kind.
Okay.
So,
So is Garlean a race, or is it like you choose to become
it
Garlean?
is a race. It is a race of people.
Okay, you are born with the marble in your
Garlean.
forehead.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like, hey, you want to become a Garlean? Here, let's put a marble in your head and cast a spell so you can't do Faraga or something, you know.
No, they are born without the ability to use magic.
Okay.
So these are the relevant areas for now. There's also the East. They will become relevant eventually, but we'll learn about that in the game.
Right.
So do you want? You know what? I'm trying to think. Yeah, this is the world. This is how we are. Everything's fine. Let me tell you how we got to this in very non-detailed details. I don't really have a picture for this, so we're just gonna go. I also have to explain
some more notes.
The 12.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. I'm very sorry. This is kind of haphazardly put together. Before we get to that, let me explain the 12.
Okay.
They are the 12 gods of the pantheon that is mostly, like, the most worshipped in Eorzea. Not everyone does. It's like there's many different religions, but most of them worship mainly to one of the 12. I'm not going to get too into them, but they are 12 beings that are said to have existed way in the past, and details of them are scarce, different stories from different people. But like Ishgard, they worship Halone the Fury. In Alamigo, I don't know where he is, but they worship Rhalgr. There he is, Rhalgr the Destroyer.
Ooh.
And so what's going to happen when you pick the game? You're going to pick one of these 12 as your deity. Basically, they each represent a month of the year. And so you're going to pick which month you are. You don't have to pick your own birthday or your character's birthday. You can just pick whichever god you want. There's a little description of each of them. I sent you this image if you want to read up on that at any point, but you can also read up on it in the character creation.
Sure. Okay.
So I say that to say, I don't have images for this, so sorry in advance. But
I'm okay.
The history of the world, very brief. I have notes on this one, so that you can't look at, but I can. So we're gonna the history is divided up into the 6 so far astral and umbral eras. So I don't get too overwhelmed. There have been 6 eras that have been started by each era is started with a world-ending, like almost world-ending level calamity. And then from that calamity until a certain point is the umbral era. And then when everyone goes, okay, we're good now. Like, we're back to being normal human beings. We're no longer being reactionary towards the event that happened. We're now back to living. That is then the astral era until world-ending apocalypse happens.
Okay, so world-ending apocalypse happens. Oh my god, how does life go on? Blah, 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 blah. That's umbral.
Exactly. And when life does go on, and it's fine.
And then, you know what? Okay, we're good.
It can take a very long amount of time. There have been...
That is astral.
Yes.
Until, oh no,
something happened. You got it.
Okay, so it's just almost like cyclical.
Yes.
Okay.
So...
But not set.
Before the eras was, who knows? Nobody knows. The most common thing is the 12 existed. Whatever happened, at some point, everyone can agree, at least the stories do, that the world was swept away by wind. That is it, and thus begun the first umbral era. There's not much known about it. It's very, very different. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong section. The first era is when dragons showed up. That's just a little note I have. That's not relevant. Just dragons showed up in the first era. That is a fact. I'll let you know now. Dragons can live for very, 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 very long time.
Well, so I'm figuring that out in the sense they've been at war for 1,000 years.
Yes. But we know that they did in fact show up in the first era very early on. That is a known fact. But as my notes state, everything's going great. Everything's going great in the first era. We're back to being people, but they've learned to use tools, SB. Tools.
Oh, this is not good.
You know what happens next?
They build something that they can't handle.
What if I took this hammer and hit someone with it?
Oh.
They made weapons, SB. Weapons.
Oh, no.
So,
no.
yeah, everything then starts going very poorly, and a volcano explodes. Covering the Earth in eternal darkness. Or I guess I'm going to say the Earth probably a lot more than I should. It's not actually the Earth. But yeah, so volcano. That's the next calamity. Thus begins the second era.
So first era, dragons, roar.
Weapons.
Right?
Yeah.
Weapons are the next calamity. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not. Volcano.
Volcano. Sorry.
Everything's just going real bad, and then volcano.
So a volcano spews its ash.
Yes.
Its smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then tons of like darkness and massive thunderstorms that raise the land, as it said. Mankind flees into caves where pestilence and plague dwindle their numbers.
Okay.
The first forms of magic are believed to have been born from human prayers in this era. So, things are going great, SB. But things actually do start to go great. We're in the astral era now. We're get back to normal. People are making tools again. Oh no! What if that guy made a weapon? Let's witch hunt.
No!
Witch hunt time.
No!
Age of Holy, the third, well, we're in an era at this point. I think third era. My notes may be a bit off. Whatever. It's kind of confusing, the first and second and third era, like where they start and end. But once we get to the third era, which we're now in Holy Wars and stuff, yeah, the sun grows big, and it's taking stuff from the earth, like sapping life. And somehow, you think like dust, famine, wastelands. What do you think happens next? What do you think comes out of the famine and the wastelands?
So, I don't know. War.
Correct, but also wrong. Correct in that war happens, but then we get super advanced sci-fi civilization.
You set me up to fail.
So, yes, I did. This is going to be very, very, very relevant. I'm just going to let you know now. They are super advanced sci-fi. A lot of our technology and stuff comes from them.
Okay.
But they are the Allegan Empire. That's going to be the name you remember. Allegan Empire. They were super advanced sci-fi. They took over literally the entire world in their reign. Like, every known landmass in existence was ruled by them. Some stuff happened, and a giant earthquake destroyed it all. The whole world shook. Giant earthquake. Don't worry about it for now.
Just let it ride, huh?
Yeah, all the tech was lost. Fourth era, I don't know. Stuff happened, probably. We don't really know much. And it ended in an ice age. So that
Things are happening at a rate I can't keep up with.
Don't worry, this is happening over tens of thousands of years. And it's over. The ice age happens, and as it's cooling down, people travel across the ice, and eventually that's how most of the races get to Eorzea. And how, like, the main reason the races are so spread out now, compared to how they used to be, apparently, is that the Ice Age happened and everyone could just walk anywhere. So they do yada yada. 1,500 years after the Ice Age is finished, we are in now. Okay. So that's nice, right? We're now. Don't worry about any of that. That's not super relevant. I can re-explain any of that you didn't get. And we're not even at 1.0 yet, SB. I don't think you know. I don't think you know what you signed up for. I'm very sorry. I did not realize it would be this
long. I don't know what I signed up for, but I've already signed up, so yeah, I might as well. Please excuse me if my eyes seem like they've glazed over. I'm trying.
Oh no. We're almost there. We're almost at things happening. The last thing I have to explain before I get to the story is the primals and the beast tribes.
Okay.
So there are beast tribes of, say, I'll use the Sahagin, for instance, as you know who they are.
Yes.
They're from FF1.
I do.
They're fish people.
Yeah.
They're not, let's say, the smartest bunch. They mostly live in tribes, though. There's a lot like that, and they worship Leviathan. Their god is Leviathan.
That's
and they
easy
go,
so far.
You know what we should do? Summon Leviathan.
Oh,
what
no.
could go wrong? And so they use a very, very, very large amount of crystals to summon Leviathan. I don't know if they actually do. Some of them do. But it takes a very large amount to do so. Like, the crystals are... Sorry, I also have to explain crystals. Crystals are condensed ether, and they are scattered all throughout the realm.
This does not sound like it can go poorly.
Stuff. Well, no, I mean, it doesn't happen too often. It's usually contained well. The problem is, so they don't actually summon their gods. They just summon beings made of ether that need to consume ether to live. Like a unnaturally large amount of ether that is going to kill the land, basically, if they stay around. Even if they just sat there, they would then kill the nearby, every plant and living creature in its area eventually, after, months to years. And the big thing is they can do what is called tempering to somebody, which is basically mind controlling them for the rest of their life.
Oh.
There is no cure. If you get close enough to a primal, as they are called, the summoned gods from ether, you will be mind controlled to worship them for the rest of your life.
Just like that, just boom.
Boom. Like, it might take a second if you're super cool or something, or main character, but eventually,
yeah,
yes.
Sure.
Now we get to things. So we remember Eorzea. Everything's going swell. Then the Garleans, specifically this man, Emperor Solus Zos Galvis.
He looks rude and mean.
He discovers magic tech. Well, he discovers ceruleum, which is a basic magic oil, is what you need to know. It's magic oil.
Okay.
And then makes magic tech out of that with some other people. Yeah, okay. Oh, here's what a normal Garlean looks like.
Oh, yeah, I see the marble in their head. Okay.
Mm-hmm, yes. He has one right there. You can see it's very tiny.
I see it, yep. I like this artwork. Who does this artwork?
A lot of people. This one, I think, looks like... I'll find out for you later, but I believe it's the same person who's doing the 16 artwork.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to know.
I will find out for you later.
Okay.
A lot of the 14 art is very good. But Solus, he discovers Magitech, and decides, I'm the Emperor of Garlemald because I have the most advanced weapons known today. And it's basically, they now... Like, they go from having nothing and being the most, useless, crushed race known because they don't have magic and everyone can kind of just step on them. They were driven to the Northern Empty. Well, actually, that's the Northern Empty, which is a big ocean. They were driven to the north of this continent, which is all snow and, I have a little bit, here are Garlemald. Big city now. But it was all snowy wasteland before. And that's the only place they could go where they wouldn't be beat down by the other races. But they go from that to now the most technologically advanced race by far. Like we're talking decades upon decades. Like, more as advanced as current day civilization compared to Fantasyland of the other ones.
Wow, so they just shot up and were like,
boom, 80
hey,
years.
look, we have gun.
We do have gun and magic. You know what they decided to do?
Magic gun.
We should point our gun at other people. So basically, over we'll say 60-ish years, they first start taking over the immediate city-states. Because, it's whatever. And then they take over the whole continent of Ilsebard. And then they start stretching out into the east. And they're all the way... Basically, they get almost all of it. They get almost all of it. Actually, we can look at... Here we go. Political map.
Oh my god!
No one really lives there. except a few
But
scattered tribes. So they don't really care. Boom, all of it.
Wow. They even have some stuff on
Yeah. So
Eorzea.
20 years ago, Eorzea, yes.
Eorzea.
20 years
I'll
ago,
get it one day.
they came in just stomping about, going, "Hey, we want Eorzea now. Give it to me." And they took Alamigo easily because everyone hated the government and the king was awful and spent all his money on himself, and so they took it without even having a fight.
They just walked in and said, "This is ours now. Planted the flag."
Pretty much. And then they kind of pull back. They're still like they're on the border. There's a I don't think it's on here, but there's a big wall built between Gridania and Alamigo. And they're ready to take over. They are in peace talks with Charlian for a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention, there is a Eorzean alliance, which contains all six city-states. So Charlian, Ishgard, Limsa, Ul'dah, Gridania, and Alamigo. Alamigo no longer part of it.
Sure.
So then we're gonna hop to somewhere here-ish. We'll look at these birds. Okay, so these birds. Right there is a country called Bozja.
Bozja. Bazjah?
No H, but correct.
Hey, yeah, sweet.
So this man, his name is Midas Non-Garland. I'm gonna read what I wrote down verbatim, not what he said verbatim, but what I wrote down. Quote,
yeah.
"Hey, I want to try to talk." Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So you look at the moon, right? It's a big moon.
Yes.
There's a tiny little red moon right next to it. Very, very tiny. You've heard of this moon. But right now, very tiny. Barely can see it. Only with a telescope. He says, "Hey, I want to talk to it."
I've heard of this moon?
Yes. I mean,
I have?
You talked about it. You said you see it.
What?
Oh, okay, never mind. You haven't. Never mind that. Ignore me. He says, "I want to talk to that moon."
The red moon.
Yeah, I want to bring that down. I want to smash Eorzea with it. And the Emperor goes, "Cool. Do that for me." Midas von Garland. We'll come back to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Midas
maybe I do
von
know what I'm talking
Garland here, the smartest guy ever. He's the tech man behind Magitech. Like, Solus discovered ceruleum, but this is the guy that made Magitech. He's very high up in Solus's repertoire. And so Solus goes, "Yeah, of course. Make a lunar..." So Midas here makes a lunar transmitter. With the Emperor's okay. And they go, "Well, let's figure out what's up there. We're gonna... not lunar transport. I think I said transporter. Lunar transmitter. Just correcting myself in case I was wrong.
You said transmitter. You said transmitter.
Okay, good. So they talk to it, right? They communicate with it. They finally get it just right. The entire city is vaporized instantly. So much energy came through that transmitter that the entire city was wiped out almost instantly.
So he said, "I want to talk to the moon." He talks to the moon. The signal that comes back from the moon is so powerful that Garland land, poof.
Just Bozja, but yes.
Oh, just Bozja. Okay.
So the city of Bozja, which was a center of trade. Like, this is... tens of thousands of people died instantly.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So the Emperor goes, No, don't do that. And then they stop for a while.
Sure.
Things are going bad again. Peace talks between Charlian and the Empire did not go well. And the second they start to not go well, everyone in Charlian leaves back to old Charlian.
Right, they know shit's happening soon.
Yep. So they don't want to be involved in it. They are non-interference. They don't want to be involved at all. So they're just going to go off to here and leave the rest of the world to do what it does. In other news, Ishgard has retreated back in on itself, not letting anyone outsiders in whatsoever, so they can focus on their war with the dragons rather than Garlemald.
Of course, important things to happen.
So now you're down to only Ul'dah, Limsa Lominsa, and Gridania left.
Okay.
I mean, like the other ones are still there, just they're not worried
But-
about anything.
Right.
So when, yes, when Charlian leaves, a group of, we know, of 12 people, or specifically one man, Louis SwarlzBarkley, decides, yeah, we're not doing this whole non-interference thing. And he's like, he takes himself and 11 of his students to try to stop Garlemald, basically.
And they are from Charlian.
Yes, they are.
Or old Charlian.
They are all, like, they would live between both, pretty much.
Right, but so they are Charlians, and they decided, we're gonna do this interfere thing. We're gonna, okay, I just wanna make sure I got that.
We'll scroll down. This is a poster someone made, thank you to whoever that person is at the bottom. So there are 12 of them. We don't know who the other 12 are. They are mentioned, they're never mentioned. I think one of them is, as a side note.
I feel like I recognize that person in the middle.
These are the ones that matter. They'll be relevant, so I'm gonna go through them now. So Louis SwarlzBarkley is the guy, the big honcho. He's the smartest, coolest guy ever. Everyone loves him.
Okay.
He's one of the heads of the form until he leaves, because he doesn't like how everything's being run. And he's multiple students who are under him. He has, and not all of them are from Charlian. So for instance, we'll talk about Thancred here. Thancred Waters is his name. He's from Ul'dah.
I am Thancred.
Yes, this is Thancred.
Okay.
This is Thancred.
That's what I said.
That is what you said. I will not correct you.
No, it's not. Thank you.
But he's from Ul'dah, and he met Louis Swa under circumstances that we won't go into, and became one of his students. Then you have Ida, who is from Alamico. I forget if she has a last name. We'll just call her Ida. Then the three from Charlian. You have Papalimo. Is his name.
I think I met Papalimo.
Y'shtola Rule and Oriange. Now, the three of them are from Charlian. They are all, I would like to take this moment to explain, they are all Archons. Which, you see this tattoo here that he has on his neck?
I do.
For some reason, he has it on the left side of his neck in this picture. I don't know what's up with that. He has it on his face there, and he has it on his forehead. Basically, what it means is they got their Charlian PhD. It means, like, the smartest, best scholars in the world, the Charlians, consider them the best at what they do. They have graduated, and they are considered the best of the best. And you can get it in anything, theoretically.
Okay, so it's like the best and the best of insert thing. Yes. So you could be, what is it?
Archon.
You could be the Archon of explaining FF14 lore.
No, but I can try.
Well, you could, in the sense of like, that is something they would recognize. That.
Obviously, they're a bunch of smart, prickly people who are annoying, but
I'm talking about you. I don't care about all those people who e-date and cosplay and go ooh woo.
No, I mean the people of the forum who decide if you can do that or not.
I take it back. I'm sorry, ooh wooers.
Thank you, ooh wooers.
Right, but the people in the forum basically judge and they say, yes,
you are
Mr.
smart.
Iron Aggro, you are smart in this. We are going to grant you the title of Archon.
Yeah. So for instance, the four of them here, the ones from Charlian, they all graduated in there. I mean, I don't know if it goes into detail on all of them, but assumedly, being smart people and knowing magic. So, you know.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Sure.
Thancred, specifically, passed his in espionage.
Okay.
And Ida did hers in punching things.
Nice.
Punching good.
She is the smartest punch.
That is the tattoo. So, we come to this point. We have the whole, the Garleans are at the door of Eorzea. The Circle of Knowing doesn't know what to do. The Garlemald, they go, okay, the reason they were taking forever to invade, they made the biggest airship ever made.
Oh.
And are flying it right into Eorzea. And now we're going to watch a video. The 1.0 CG trailer.
Oh, this will be good. 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yep. I don't think this is going to be a 2-hour event, but it is. Let's go.
Hey, that's how it goes. I guess we will just like we'll watch this and like.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play it in the video or like?
Probably, yeah, I'm gonna play it in the video.
Okay.
So I'll see how it goes. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to edit this very long feature film.
Okay.
But let's go. It will not all be relevant to what I just said. Just know that. I may make this its own separate video as well, on top of being part of this video.
Sure.
So
this looks. When is this from? Like, when did FF14 originally release? Wow.
Something like that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because FF13 was like 2008, 2009, I think.
Yeah, right around then.
Oh, yo. Oh, that was triple triad, but it looks more like tarot cards.
Yeah. He's picking a bounty.
Is that us?
That is the generic you, yes.
Okay.
That is what people call the Midlander, or his common name is Meteor.
Okay.
The feeling, my dear, is mutual.
Fair warning, the voice acting is bad until Heavensward, when they change the entire voice cast. Literally the entire cast changes in Heavensward.
Now quiet down and help me decide.
To real British people.
For Ish.
Does that not surprise me?
Oh, it's like stained glass.
This beast's in a frenzy, the likes I've never seen.
Look out! He's right on top of us!
Move, lass, move!
Again, a lot of this is not relevant to those things I just said, but
Sure.
it's cool.
Looks really good.
Yeah. You know what? I can tell you right now, that is Liam O'Brien grunting. I've never noticed that before. I know Liam O'Brien grunts.
I'm gonna ignore that.
He's an archer.
Okay.
The paladin, or well, I mean, kinda.
The Marlboro looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Square Enix, like, you just can't beat their CGs.
Never. It's just amazing.
They should make a movie out of these. I'm sure it'll be good.
Why must you torture me?
They beat the Marlboro. Or whatever. That's not how you say it.
I say Marlboro. What's crazy is that's about how hard it is to actually kill one in like any Final Fantasy game.
Not done yet.
No.
Oh, but wait.
I'm sorry.
He's changing.
What?
Different
What
magic
is...
flashback. We'll get
What
into things.
is...
Basically, his weird magic flashbacks are combining.
Who's?
Protagonist man.
Oh, Earthlink.
We are now looking at he got caught on that ship. Don't worry about it. Remember, the Garleans are invading.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
They didn't just come with the big airship. They came with also tiny little airships.
Oh, of course.
Wakes up in the middle of the battle.
He's conveniently safe.
I would like to mention,
Ooh.
they're over
Ooh.
Silver Tier Lake, that big lake made of only ether.
I don't like how the wings float on. But okay, thank you for that context. Wow.
Yeah. Now you may ask, why are there a bunch of dragons? They appeared out of thin air.
Why are there a bunch of dragons?
They appeared out of thin air.
Okay. That's the airship. And that is... not...
That is Midgard-Sormer, the father of all dragons.
Midgard-Sormy.
He appeared out of thin air to defend Eorzea, seemingly.
Does that get explained?
Eventually.
Okay,
I'm not going to explain it anytime soon.
I just want to make sure when you say appears out of thin air, just like, oh, we don't know why this happened. We're like, he appeared out of thin air, and there is a reason that you will learn. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I just want.
Some of the time, I feel like telling you there will be a reason. Also, they're crashing into the Silver Tear Lake.
So, Garleans were invading.
Uh-huh.
And now he's like, oh, I don't like this happening. And he said, I'm going to do things to this ship.
Yes, and they both crashed into the lake, dying.
Oh, no, the dragon
And
king
it
died?
froze them and it killed them and froze them in place like that. So if you look at Silver Tear Lake, his body's still wrapped around the airship.
That's cool. Oh. Oh. What? The music.
I'll explain the rest after the trail.
That was all a vision.
Who's returned from his reverie?
I didn't pick up on that. That was all a vision.
To join us again.
So this
Oh,
probably
God,
takes
her
place
face.
like around the beginning of the actual game, theoretically. The other characters are not actual characters in the game.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
This one. We'll start with this one.
That's not Liam O'Brien.
Ah, he speaks.
I was wrong.
Oh,
Go now.
the music.
Let us give the bard something to sing.
Whoa. We can start FF14 1.0. I'm sure it'll be good, SB. That trailer made it look like it would be good, right?
That trailer did make it look like it'd be pretty good.
It did.
I'm not dumb. Is what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue.
Let's hear it.
That was a good trailer. If I had seen that when, well, so let me preface it. My love for Final Fantasy has really blown up over the past 4 to 5 years. If I had been, I think if I had seen that trailer right after playing Final Fantasy 13 when I rented it from GameFly, I think I would have gotten into Final Fantasy 14. You know,
Here's some
what are you
gameplay of 1.0.
from FF from
Yes.
from
1.0.
pre or Realm Reborn?
Yeah.
This looks like Final Fantasy 11 too.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be, basically.
Oh, okay.
That's what the original intention was. Let's just do 11, but more modern. So, for reference,
I would not
for
have
the
enjoyed
future,
this.
No. So what happened is, we'll look at this map. So yeah, they were invading. Again, the vision stuff makes it a little unclear, but, you know, I didn't want to spoil that happening.
I appreciate that.
So, they are right there, above that lake. When, suddenly, they're invading. They're like, okay, we're taking over. You don't have a choice. Look at this airship.
Right.
And they were right. They would have won instantly. They would have controlled the entirety of the 3 continents. And then Midgard-Sormer appears out of thin air for reasons yet to be disclosed. And,
Okay.
and a bunch of his dragon kids, a bunch of dragons, poof, they're here. They take out the whole fleet, and Midgard-Sormer dies taking out the big giant ship. They crash into this lake, which again I said was made of mostly ether. Like the most condensed ether in the whole continent. And it explodes. The airship and him freeze there in the lake, and he's dead. Everyone on that airship dead. And so what happens? Let me check my notes to make sure I'm in the right spot. But because there's now so much more ether, it is now much more, let's say, viable for beast tribe and easier for beast tribes to summon their gods.
Okay.
So that will be relevant in a little bit. Now we're going to go to a random party in Ul'dah. About a few
random
years
party.
later. A few years later. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, Garlemald has backed off. They have gone back. They're holding the border. They're holding the border there. Also, don't worry about there. No one really lives there. It's just a bunch of mountain ranges that are basically uninhabitable, outside of a few little tribes. But they are holding off. They are not gonna go invade yet. There's too much going on. But time passes. I think like 10 years, something like that. 5-10 years-ish.
Okay.
And again, this is going to be relevant in the future, so it might seem random. But Thancred, our boy, Thancred, he's at a street fair. You can see the street fair here. It's like a big party going on. There's a parade. When suddenly a bunch of monsters on parade floats that seem peaceful start killing things. And Thancred's job there was to see what the general opinion was on going to war with Garlemald. The Circle of Knowing wants to know, are the city-states going to go to war? So that they can work on their plan with the 12 of them to figure out what they're going to do next.
Okay.
And Thancred's distracted by pretty girls.
Of course he is.
And people die because he wasn't paying attention. Specifically, this girl here on the left, she doesn't die. Her dad dies.
No.
Her dad, who was a Garlean spy. She didn't know this. I believe. I wanted to be clear, I'm not 100% sure on this fact. He could be a spy of Garlemald, but why would he be here if he was spying on Garlemald? So I believe the way it was written was confusing. So I believe he's a Garlean spy.
Okay.
But he died because Thancred was being incompetent. And let me see, what am I missing? Yes. This lady here, Flahaman, is her name. She is going to, for reasons, she feels guilty about this that we'll go into in the future.
Okay.
They get the monsters, all that, yada yada. And because this girl's name is Asilia, by the way. That's important. Asilia, yes.
Okay.
Because he feels guilty about it, Thancred decides he's going to watch over Asilia. Like, her dad's dead, and it's his fault. He was not watching the guy like he should have been. And because he knows Garlean spies are going to look for her, they decide to change her name, and he comes up with it. So ignore Asilia. Get that out of your head. Her name is Minfilia.
Oh, not similar. Okay.
No, Minfilia. And that'll be relevant. And here's Minfilia years later, like 10 years later, something like that.
Yo.
So years later, Minfilia, she has formed a group called the Path of the 12. So you saw those visions then in that trailer.
I did.
So they've kind of retconned how they work a little bit, so I'm not going to explain how they worked in 1.0 till later. So you, know. I don't want you to get confused.
I got you.
So basically, she has what is called, she and the protagonist have what is called the Echo, which is a blessing granted upon certain people for some reason, assumedly by Hydaelyn, the capital G god of the world.
Sure.
Who most don't know much about. Where they can do two things. The first thing everyone can do is they resist tempering, which is when the primals mind control you, like Leviathan and Ifrit and such.
So in theory, you could walk, they could walk close enough.
They can.
And still
yes, not even in theory, in practice. They can get right up there, and they can't be mind controlled by them.
Okay.
And the other thing they can do is they get some random ability of some kind. Now, to be clear, not like a superpower. Like, it's never that good. It's always, Like, I guess.
I can talk to gophers.
Not even that cool.
I can snap my fingers.
I don't want to say too many because there's not that many.
Nothing substantial.
I'll say the three main characters that have it all have the same ability. So I don't want to say the one ability that they all have.
I understand.
We'll learn that in the story to come. It's not that big.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. But she forms a group called the Path of the 12, and her goal is to use. It's made of a bunch of people who have the Echo. And we're gonna stop the primals. We're gonna make the beast tribes come to peace, right? Peace, peace, peace between the beast tribes, and stop summoning gods to kill everything, please. Yes. In other news, Commander Nail von Darnus,
FF12.
I believe, very FF12, leader of the 7th Legion of the Garlean army. Convinces Solus Zosgalvis, the Emperor, to reopen the Moon Project, the Red Moon. You know, the one that vaporized the whole city.
Of course.
He says, "Hey, let's do that again," because his parents were the ones to make the technology to talk to the moon, tiny moon. And Solus says, "Yeah, okay," and basically, joins the 7th Legion with the 14th Legion, the 14th Legion were the ones that were at the head of the invasion. The 14th Legion is headed by Gaius von Balsar. He will be important.
Okay.
I'll let you know now, because it's always fun to look for. There are 14 legions in the army. Each leader of the legion has some sort of parallel with one of the antagonists of their numbered Final Fantasy game. I won't go into detail, but each time we know about them. So Nell is the leader of the 7th, and Gaius here, leader of the 14th. So he doesn't actually have a parallel. He's just the leader of the 14th. Oh, that's you. You arrived.
No, that's mid guy.
A Midlander, Meteor. I forgot to mention the Echo. You get it by having a vision of... how you get it is you have a vision of some meteors falling out of the sky, and you hear the words, hear, feel, think. Some lady saying it. Much cooler than I said it. And then some people get the Echo, some people just see that and go about their lives. It's just random. See, it's like that. Those are the meteors you see.
Look at those.
But you join Minfilia, you know, trying to stop the primals and all that. Yada yada. A relevant thing that's going to be relevant later is the beast tribes learned how to summon from people called the Asians. Of which we meet two. One in Y'shtola's in the Limsa prologue. I'm not even gonna bother telling you. He steals this magic horn.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what this Asian looks like, and this is what the other Asian you see looks like.
Oh.
And that's all we're gonna learn about the Asians today. And then the servers, the game caught on fire. The game's bad, and that's where the main story ends. For the main story of the launch game, pretty much.
Okay.
The game's bad, so we dropped the whole 12 plotline. Drop the Minfilia plotline. She's still there and relevant. It's just she doesn't make any headway with the beast tribes. I have my note: game bombed. Lol.
A Lamau.
Slowly, as the patches happen, you can see that's patch early. Look at that tiny moon. It's bigger. It's bigger.
Ooh.
It's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger. Final patch. Big. It's not quite there yet. There's this guy. We'll get to him in a minute. Garlemald's preparing for full invasion. They are getting everyone ready to go. They are going to take Eorzea on foot. They don't have their cool airship anymore. It's because it would take like a decade plus to get that thing ready to go again.
Yeah.
But they're going to do it anyways. So, you, protagonist men, or...
That's me.
Yeah, you. Team up with Louis Swa, the head of the Circle of Knowing, that old guy from before. Remember him?
Yes.
We have a picture of him for reference. That guy. Old Elfman. Louis Swa Lavalier. You team up with him and this guy. Sid Garland. This is Sid. He's also Garland.
Ah.
You may recognize the name Garland from Midas von Garland, who was the guy who talked to the meteor the first time. By the way, this is called Meteor. We'll just call it Meteor from here on.
Sure.
The leader of the 7th Legion is summoning Meteor. But yeah, he didn't like his dad, and he doesn't like the Garlean Empire. He wears his goggles to cover his little button on his forehead.
He's smart man.
But the three of you and other people do some quests, and you get the 3 city-states, these 3, Limsa,
Okay.
Ul'dah, Gridania, to join up and reform the Eorzean Alliance. Because it was kind of, it was breaking apart because 1 got taken over and 2 left. But the 3 of them are back together to fight against Garlemald. Nael, leader of the 7th Legion, constructs a fortress. We'll go back to the regular map. Here-ish. In Mordona. Like right around here at Cartana.
Okay.
Do I have a picture? No, that's relevant. That's later. We'll look at the map for now. Let's see. Build a fortress and constructs a new lunar transmitter. A new one.
A different one.
Yeah, new one. Theoretically, he had like something going on because the meteors started to get bigger, but the like later pictures I showed you are after this is constructed. Dalamud is drawing ether from the land as it gets closer. So like the lake is starting to get lower and just general all ether is being sucked into it as more and more as it gets closer. Sid, this guy, again, meets with Gaius, who's leader of the 14th Legion. He meets with our good Sidman. Where'd he go? Oh yeah, they used to be good friends. Gaius was Sid's surrogate father after his real dad died in the big explosion. So we got relevant stuff. They talk, finds out about Meteor. That's how everyone knows about what's going on and how why they know Nael is the person to stop. Because plot and cutscene interaction, yada yada. You talk to Nael a couple times when he comes to you and he's like, "Hi, I'm behind this wall of fire, so you can't get to me. Haha, I'm an evil villain." But you talk to him a few times and find out, basically through a lot of villain monologuing, he's not doing this for Garlemald.
No.
He has some ulterior motive we don't know about. But he still wants to summon the meteor we know it now as Dalamud, is the name of the meteor, the big red one. Summoning it for something, who knows? Gaius, the 14th Legion leader, as you break into the base to try to destroy the transmitter, he lets you through. Cause he's like, hey, don't destroy that thing. I don't want the whole country to be destroyed by a meteor. We're like here to take over. We're not here to destroy everything. Don't know why the Emperor's doing this and all that. The whole building got on fire. You destroy the whole thing. Nael has a crazy villain monologue as he walks into the fire. Obviously, he's on fire under that armor, so he's probably like melting under there. But he has armor on, so we don't have to show it. But he's going crazy and just like, ha ha ha, you can't stop me. Yada yada. Nael goes to some floating islands. These. And we can assume Eorzea, the guy with the hood before, he's relevant now. Finds him there. Sid drives you in his airship. Because of course he has an airship. We see right before the boss fight, we see Nail talk to the big giant red mood Dalamud, and talk to it as if it's worshipping it, as if it's some kind of god. So, take that for what you will. You kill Nail, and after big boss fight, the White Raven dead. Who is then like as he's laying there dying, his whole energy source is absorbed into Dalamud, like entire ether. And now we get to twisty twist.
Oh no!
It's not a moon, because it's so close. You can even see, like, there's bits sticking out of it. There's blue lights on it. This is some sort of tech, like piece of tech. This is like this is a man-made thing.
Right.
Now what's up with that?
Jesus.
Who knows? We're almost done.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, we killed Nail. It's not stopping. It is still coming no matter what we do. Louis Swa,
Okay.
old man, he like has you and a bunch of other people go around the world to pray to the 12, like at their statues. Go around the continent, or the 3 city-states at least. In hopes of summoning them in the same way the primals do. Like, we may all be mind controlled, but we're not going to be destroyed by a big giant meteor.
Right.
Like, there's a risk to it, but if that's the other option, and that's also what most people are going to be praying to. So you're going to theoretically use up all the prayer energy to stop it, is the goal. Along the way of doing this, you do a whole big roundabout the map, basically hey, go around the map one last time, buddy. You meet Gaius along the way. He's just there to say, hey, please stop this. I'm gonna be standing on some cliffs. By the way, what's left of the 7th Legion, they're gonna march on what's left of the Alliance. In Cartano. The Cartano Flats.
Okay.
He's gonna watch from a big cliff, and if the meteor lands, then he'll die, whatever. He can't really leave in the next day. He cannot make it far enough that it would basically, if a meteor crashed without anyone stopping anything, it would destroy all of Aldenard. Like, flatten it completely, at least that. Because it's moving slow enough, it's probably not going to wipe out the planet, but it would at least destroy the whole continent. Yeah, he warns you about that, though. It says, hey, go, warn people, whatever. So you're really, the Alliance's only option are, we're just going to hope you guys stop the meteor that's right above where we're fighting. Because the meteor is going to land on the Cartano Flats. Right around where the lunar transmitter was. Let's see, am I missing anything? I think we're almost done. Yes, we need the prayers of everyone. The Circle of Knowing, so Thancred, Y'shtola, Eorzea, all of them. They're all sent each to one of the 12 statues around the world to go pray at it in the moment. You, Sid, and Louis Swa all go to Cartano. You to fight for the Alliance, and Sid, because what else is he gonna do? Also, another thing I forgot to mention, my last note, is monsters started appearing everywhere as the thing came down. Like, literally in peaceful locations where you're not supposed to be able to get into fight. And then, it is time for the end of an era. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So this is the trailer for when...
No, this is
1.0.
basically 1.0 shut down, and then they watched
Okay.
this video. They kind of turn annotations off.
Okay.
I'll turn this baby up. Have you seen this before?
No.
Okay, I'm actually surprised.
And this is what again?
This is the meteor, or the Dalamud, the lesser moon that Nail has been summoned.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
It's breaking apart, basically, as it's getting closer.
Yeah.
And absorbing more ether. This person's gonna sing at your Distant Worlds concert in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is her, huh?
Yep, Susan Calloway. That's Kane Senna of Gridania on the left there, and the other leaders. That's Gaius. Adieu.
A red man.
Again, these are not actual characters, his party. They're
Right.
just, hey, you're online friends.
Oh,
The meteor was not the thing to worry about. It's what was inside.
was that?
Bahamut.
Oh my god. Very bright.
And they're just like, what do we do? That's just like, it's over. What away?
He's trying his best. Oh no.
So, the way people can't remember exactly what happened after that. We know Louis Swall died right then, stopping Bahamut. But they can't remember like the Warriors of Light's name. I'm gonna say a plot point here. It's gonna come up. Like, we can't remember the names of the people who saved us. It's weird. That plot point does not get resolved unless you had imported your 1.0 character, where you'll get an extra cutscene where they're like, "I remember you, buddy." So don't worry about that.
Oh, so like, the lore is like, wow, like, we saved the world, but nobody remembers us.
Well, kind of. Nobody remembers anything. That's the thing, is that specific part doesn't get resolved if you didn't import. What happened to everything? How did Louis Swall, like, what happened? Because, you know, that did not seem to go well. There's no real answer yet. People don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't.
So when you say people,
the general,
you mean like NPCs in game?
Yes.
Okay. I just want...
NPCs.
So that trailer played when, like, hey, listen, FF14 is shutting down. This is kind of the end of FF14, and then this trailer is, hey, like,
a new beginning. Yeah, this is
FF14, A Realm Reborn. Okay, so this is when they were relaunching.
Yeah, so it was all that, but with a little bit more. I will say, it has been 5 years since Meteor fell. We are now in the 7th era. That was the calamity.
Okay.
We're in the 7th Umbral era now.
Okay.
The Circle of Knowing, what's left of it, so Thancred, Y'shtola, and them, have joined with Minfilia and her group. They have formed the Scions of the 7th Dawn.
Hey, I saw that on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Wish I would have bought it. They had it when I was there. But I didn't know. I have some general housekeeping questions when we're done.
Yes, I want to hear them. This isn't going to answer anything, it's just a pretty CG.
Yeah. Y'shtola!
Let's go. Yeah.
I forget their names.
Ida and Papa Limo.
Papa Limo and Ida, okay. I think I met
They're
them
a dynamic
when I was
duo.
playing.
Yes, you started in Gridania.
Yeah, so I met them, yeah.
Thancred.
And then Thancred, yes, okay.
Shout out to Sean.
So Thancred, Y'shtola, Papa Limo, and...
Thancred.
No, I said Thancred.
Thancred, Papa Limo, Ida, Y'shtola, and Eorzea.
Oh, is that Odin?
That is Odin, yes.
No! That's a behemoth.
Yep. That's the Crystal Tower.
No! Oh, so this is right
yeah. No, it's not. It's 5 years later. So if you're a 1.0 character, he's transported you 5 years in time. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Because you're not a 1.0 character, so the scenes are changed slightly.
But so if you were playing a 1.0...
You just poof into existence.
Yeah,
not remembering
he didn't just
things.
teleport you out. He, like... Okay, I got you, yeah.
Basically, he teleported you out, but then you reappeared 5 years later.
You were like, in limbo.
Yeah. But that doesn't matter. That's not how it goes. They changed the opening cutscenes a little.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that in the background, the prelude. I like that they kept the mono art.
Yep. And now, register for a beta, Espy. Let's go. I would like to let everyone know my friend signed up for this beta, played a little, stopped playing. 10 years later, well, 9 years later, whatever, last year, he goes to go for the free trial. He can't. He signed it. He played the beta. So we can't use a free trial. And because he was playing on PlayStation, can't unconnect your Square Enix account from your PlayStation account.
No.
So yes, we are now ready to go. Kind of. We've got other stuff, but for story-wise, we're ready to go. What are your questions? Give me questions. I will answer what I can and not answer what I can't.
So I'll tell you, like, none of them are like lore related. It's just like dumb. So okay.
That's fine.
What was the gap? What was the gap between ending of 1.0 and official launch of Realm Reborn?
3 years.
Couple years?
I want to say.
Holy shit, dude! And like, FF14 was shut down. Like,
well, it was ongoing for a while. It shut down about a little less than a year. Sorry, I may have misunderstood your question. It shut down a little less than a year before Realm Reborn came out. They kept it going for a while in development of Realm Reborn.
Okay, so they did. Hey, the world exploded. Game runs for 2 more years after that.
No. World exploded. Server died. They showed that video I showed you, not the last one, but the one before. They showed that right after they cut off the servers. Everyone was staring up at Dalamud in the sky. Here, FFX. Let me find.
Okay, so they're playing FF14. They announced, hey, we're shutting the game down on this day.
Yes.
About a year goes by, 2 years, 3 years. That's what I'm.
No, about a year after that. Sorry, it's from.
They show the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Here, these are the last moments of.
Yeah. People gathered together.
Imagine being online for this.
Mm-hmm. There's a version of Answers playing in the background, which that song was called Answers.
Yeah.
Servers
and
dead.
then server shut down.
Yep.
Okay.
And then video.
So. Oh, and then the video plays right there.
It didn't, but it came out around that time, I believe.
Okay. So they say, hey, listen, FF14 did not go the way we wanted it to. Whatever logic they whatever answer they gave.
Yes.
Game is shutting down on this day.
Yes.
From announcement to shutdown, how long was that?
I don't know. Because 1.0 went badly. Then they went, we're going to figure it out. And then eventually went, hey, we're going to make a new game. You can play the, well, they kept updating 1.0 for a little while. Got to 1.23b was the last patch.
Okay. So
I forget details on that. I'm just letting you know now. After we beat probably a Realm Reborn somewhere, I'm gonna watch it again to make sure there's no spoilers. But we're gonna be watching the 1.5-ish documentary NoClip did on it, on the development. It's
that
very
sounds
good,
awesome.
very good. But just, you have any questions, I will answer.
Yeah. So
there's
they
no
shut
real
down.
Life spoilers.
Okay. Between, hey, FF14 servers are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
To relaunch. How long was that?
I want to say a year, give or take. I don't know details. I can look that up in the future, but around a year, I think.
From announcement to a Realm Reborn is about 2-3 years. From shutdown to a Realm Reborn is about a year, right?
Okay,
Something like that.
Okay, game launches, right? 1.0 launches is bad. They very quickly announce, or not very quickly, but at some point within the year say what they're gonna do. About a year and a half to 2 years later. I want to say a year to year and a half-ish, give or take. I'll look up later exact dates for you later. They shut down the servers of 1.0, and about a year after that, Realm Reborn comes up.
Okay. So, when did A Realm Reborn come out? About 10 years ago, something like that?
It is the 10th anniversary this year.
Wow, good time to get into it, huh?
Yep.
Let's see. So, it's not, like... Obviously, it's set to be like, yeah, like... It's okay that you didn't play 1.0. Like, we just missed, like, a little cutscene or two, and, like, people don't remember who I am. But outside of that, like, there's no real disadvantage to not having played...
No. Like, this, you didn't need to know any of this stuff. I'm glad I told you. But, like, I will use, for an example, Acilia. Minfilia's real name being Acilia. They don't ever explain why her name's not... Why she has 2 names. In the game, they just kind of go as it does, and then you have to figure it out or look it up or something. You know, stuff like that.
Little things that like you people could probably miss, but like if you want the deeper lore, you can. Okay.
Or the story of Nail, or the the mystery of what exactly happened at the end, because we don't know details. Everyone in the continent forgets details,
Okay.
so it was weird. Everyone's confused by it, but it's been 5 years, and we've been recovering from a calamity, so everyone's in shambles.
Yeah. When I know this all like probably got explained, but like I said, like there's so much being thrown. That the Bahamut meteor explosion.
Yes.
That only affected Eorzea.
Oh, yes, I would like to point out the last calamity, Ice Age that's across the entire world. Entire world Ice Age.
Okay.
This one, this area.
Okay, so just Aldernard
Mainly.
and...
I will say, like, basically the farther out you get, the less... But even over here, there are a couple shards of Dalamud. So it did affect the whole world, but it only really affected this area.
And what is Dalamud?
Dalamud was a container for Bahamut. We'll find out more later. Why was Bahamut in there?
So
yeah,
so that's fine.
I will say,
Bahamut was in a...
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember exactly if everyone in the world knows it's Bahamut. I don't remember how they know that's its name.
Okay. But so there's the meteor.
Yes.
Inside of the meteor is Dalamud.
No.
Which was...
The meteor is... Dalamud is the meteor.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so...
Dalamud.
Okay, so yeah, Dalamud is a meteor. And I'm like, hey, guess what? You thought this was bad? There's a big old fucking dragon guy in here, and he's gonna... Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is all correct.
Cool.
Other questions?
Not right now. Like I said, like there's so much to like try to keep up with.
Yeah, no. Again,
I
like I said, if you missed anything, I'm there to refresh. B, it's whatever. You don't need to. Again, you don't need to know any of this. This is all just like nice info, so you know when you're going into a place. Hey, this is why the world is like this. We're still dealing with the calamity. We're in the Umbral era still.
Okay. No, yeah. As of right now, I have no other questions.
Okay. Then I think this will end this video. And then we'll possibly see you in the next video.
Bye.